they do the three of them. Revolution, Big Bad Bird, and W4 switch sometimes depending on the hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's much more of a hero-dependent thing as opposed to a lane-dependent thing with a lot of teams.
Right, that's pretty interesting. Do you know anything about the opposite team, Team AzkaLs?
Unfortunately, I do not.
I will look up, try to find some stats on these guys, because I believe we do have a little bit of a package here telling us about how some background information on all these teams. I mean, all these teams, they're from all over the place. I think we have people from the States here, we have some European teams, we have some Canadian teams, just really all over the place. They do have a really cool logo though. Looks like a wolf.
What is that? It's like a panda bear wolf.
That would be the scariest thing ever.
Panda bear? It's like cute and vicious.
It's cute. You come up to it, try to feed it bamboo, and then it rips off your arm.
Yeah.
The worst. So what? Let's see. We have some bands going up already.
I mean, these are really standard bands for them. Well, they're good bands, but like Coddle has kind of fallen off as a top band. His recent nerf to his Illuminate,
yep,
which is his long channel beam, in like the radius and the width is actually pretty big. It's really annoying to play now because you're used to a longer range and then it just falls short. So some of his Coddle's presence isn't as like felt. He's still a very, very good support, but he's not as strong as before. The picks are pretty standard. Wisp and Nature's Prophet picked up by Bird's Nest here. So it's looking like a global strat as both heroes can sort of really show up everywhere.
Right.
And Darkseer, pretty standard first pick. Lifestealer has probably become like god tier, I guess, along with like the other like Batrider and Nyx. He's a really strong carry. Has a really strong mid game, still does well late game, has a really strong laning phase as well. He's just good like at almost every single point in the game.
Right.
And he has good synergies with other heroes too, like with Infest, the recent popularity with bombing with Nyx, like going Puck, blinking in, Nyx Bomb or Storm Spirit. And that kind of plays into the whole, what I think Bird Nest wanted to do. So I think that's why they picked it up so fast, and it's definitely a strong pick.
Oh, I see a Wisp Tiny. I'm really excited to see some of that. That's going to be very interesting, especially with a Nature's Prophet on the Bird's Nest as well. So as you said, playing that roaming support thing, Wisp can even bring Tiny around.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the roaming support this game because you definitely need the farm on the Wisp Tiny. Like Wisp Tiny or IO Tiny now is definitely a strong combination, as shown by like Dignitas.
For sure.
I think Aoi 2000 is 19-1 with Tiny when they play him in competitive matches.
Wow.
But your laning phase is not very strong. IO doesn't bring a lot to the laning phase unless you do it with certain heroes, and Tiny doesn't really either. I mean, you have a huge burst with Tiny, but
not
you can't.
Enough mana.
Yeah, you can't really sustain it. So you're generally going to safe lane Tiny with IO. And then maybe another support, they might have Nature's Prophet in the jungle and do it that way. But because of like the weaker laning presence you have with IO and Tiny, you're not going to be able to roam with Wisp.
For sure.
So I think they're definitely going to focus a lot on the Tiny and make room for him with the next two picks they have.
I'm wondering, will we be able to see? Do you think we'll see any kind of Tiny ganks in the mid game with an IO teleport here and there?
Oh, certainly, yeah. If like. That's one of the strengths of Wisp is like Tiny can just be farming, and then if a team fight happens, you can quickly bring him in. I don't think it's going to be much more of a reactive thing. They're not going to be out there looking for those ganks.
For sure,
with Tiny. But if a team fight, if a team fight shows up with the other three heroes, they can just, or even the other two, because of Nature's Prophet TP himself. So they're very versatile in that way, and I think that's one of the reasons why Tiny Wisp is so strong. You give the Tiny room, but also allow him to have that impact in the mid game.
So on these bans by Bird's Nest, you said they like using Clockwork. Why the Clockwork ban this time?
It's an interesting. I'm not sure. Maybe. Well, Clockwork actually works quite well with AzkaLs team. I mean, you can do Clockwork bombs too, and Clockwork has kind of grown as a support hero, which is interesting. His laning presence isn't. Well, his Clockwork's laning presence as a support is not bad, but it's not optimal. And he's a fantastic hero. He has a stun that goes through BKB. He can go from afar. He can cog, which takes out mana and health and really ruins the positioning of heroes. And then Rock is just a great spell. All his spells are really
pretty
good. Like Clockwork is one of the only heroes where you can max any spell you want and it's gonna be alright. It's pretty good. Like one is situationally better than the other, but they're all like
good
maxing
skills,
one of the other.
exactly. Yeah, just give them to new players. Doesn't matter what build you pick. Pick it to your heart's content. Do whatever you want. So we see a Shadow Demon pick over there. I can see how that's gonna work for sure. You know, with a Gyrocopter, nice support from Shadow Demon. Able to do that burst damage is gonna be huge. Undying got banned. I can see.
This Gyro might not be a carry Gyro. We'll have to wait until the last pick. I really like the way AzkaL actually picked this because you're not sure how they're going to do it, but now you do it. So it's going to be SD Leshrac. So they have a very sort of common lineup in the sense that you're going to offensive tri-lane, have Darkseer mid, and then like a safe lane Nyax, I think, or like a off-lane Darkseer, Gyro mid, and then Nyx tri-lane kind of thing. So they're quite versatile in their lanes, but they're also very potent in every single one of the lanes. Their mid game is unbelievable. Like Nyx is a really strong hero mid game. Darkseer reaches his peak at like level 12, level 13. Gyro is really strong mid game as well.
Sure.
Like every single one of the heroes does well mid game, as well as all of them do well early game as well. On the hand of, so I think it's. Oh man, I have no idea how they're gonna lane this Bird's Nest. Like intuitively, I think they're gonna do like Bane support, but they have W4 playing Bane, who's usually their mid player.
Right.
That's what's throwing me off.
They're doing it on purpose. They know you're casting this. They want to see you mess up.
Yeah, probably.
They knew it.
Also, quickly, I want to talk about the bans on AzkaLs team. We can't see it anymore, but they banned Puck and Quap.
Yes.
Those are both heroes that have really strong they're both really strong heroes in the mid game as well, and they can give tiny room, right? And they can also sort of show up to the fight and escape.
You don't want that. You want to be.
You don't want that mid game presence. You don't want to have give the tiny room, right? So both Brew is pretty good at team fight, and I guess Bane does that as well a little bit. Well, not team fight, but like give the tiny room and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they lane this here as we coming up. And why don't you quickly introduce the teams?
All right. Before I do that, though, shout out to Italy. Apparently, Dis and KitKat are from Italy. So whoever you have friends from there watching, thanks for joining us here at the Armata Gaming 5v5 Open Dota Tournament. We have our players here on Bird's Nest team. We do have Hyun playing Io. We have Waffle Devil, the new pickup, playing the Brewmaster. And if I could just find him, there he is. He is in the middle lane right now. Revolution as the Nature's Prophet, still in the base, just walking around. Big Bad Bird himself as the Tiny. We also have W4BN as the Bane. On the opposite side, on the other team, though, all moving into the jungle, we have Shadow Demon played by KitKat. We have Gyrocopter, and oh my goodness, I'm not going to stop talking. Because we have Shadow Demon, he's going to go for that Tiny, but no, decides to go the other way around right now. I'm going to be chasing EO and that Bane, and it looks like the whole team will be going this way. Lifestealer and Darkseer separating themselves in the movement. It looks like it's just going to be a ward, and now that I can catch my breath, continue on with these team names. Odom as the Leshrac, we have KZ as the Lifestealer, and finally we have Dis as the Darkseer.
That was really close for Tiny. He was actually typing when they were coming. Yeah, you could see him pause, like just sit in the middle, and then quickly press enter and have like a sentence out, and then he left. So he's really lucky that the Shadow Demon wasn't able to be in range to disrupt him, which I think he was barely in range. Like, Shadow Demon's disruption range is absurdly high. It's really good.
It's insane. He can just go there and just grab someone, then it's all up in the air. Then you're just gonna be perma-stunned and probably just taken out because of the lineup they have right now. So it looks like the tri-lane at bottom, is going to be the Lifestealer, Leshrac, and the Shadow Demon against a Wisp, a Tiny, and a Bane just soaking around into the middle of the lane. Whoa, phone, shut up. That was real loud.
Yeah. So going back to the lanings of AzkaL, it's like their lineup is so versatile. They could have swapped the Gyro on the Nyx and still have been fine, given the Nyx safe lane. They could have even done like Darkseer tri-lane, which is probably not optimal, but it still works and can do a lot of damage if you want to shut down a pure like Tiny. But I mean, it's going to be really dependent on how much they shut down this Tiny, as he is like a machine in the late game if you can get farm up.
Yeah, you get those hyperstones going on him, and he's going to be whacking that tree branch like no other. But yeah, that's only if he gets there, you know? If he doesn't, it's going to be a pretty weak Tiny.
Yeah, here in the meantime, mid is going pretty even, I think. Oh, actually, Darkseer's way ahead.
Darkseer, yeah, he does have the 6 last hits compared to the 3 of the Brewmaster right now. And with that Ion Shell, it just makes it so annoying. You go in, you try to get a last hit, but you are going to take some damage. Oh, nice stomp over there. Just going to be able to get out, do some damage to him, harassing here and there. The tower's been really pushed towards the Radiant side now, because the creep amps have been blocked by those wards.
Yeah, Darkseer mid is a very good choice. Like because especially against a melee hero like Brewmaster, like he has 5 armor, and so he can withstand a lot of damage. And then the Ion Shell is just a lot of damage, and you're gonna constantly push him under the tower, and he's gonna have to CS under the tower here. I mean, like the Brewmaster can just certainly CS like this, and also do a lot of damage with Clap, but he doesn't really have that much mana to sustain it unless he keeps bottle crowing.
For sure.
So it's I think gonna be quite an even lane, but it's gonna be a little bit harder for the Brewmaster to, like, he's gonna put more effort into it.
Down at bottom though, and there goes the stun, gonna be hitting the Tiny. He's just gonna be slowed. Oh my goodness, Bane's gonna get run, but it looks like the slow was a little bit of miscommunication there, going on the Bane instead of the Tiny, which I think they wanted to focus down.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, and Bane actually slept a Leshrac after he got the stun off. I think he was trying to do it before the stun got off, but fortunately no one died, and not a lot of damage actually went on the Tiny here, and he actually has more CS than the Nyack, so this offensive tri lane is not looking that great, as they have to get kills in order for this to work out.
Yeah, it looks like Shouty was trying to get in position here, but nope, nothing's going to happen once again. Oh my goodness, look at the Darkseer, so low on health right now. Wasn't able to use that invisibility rune, so he's going to be safe, but you know, Nature's Prophet did come down there, TP down, but wasn't able to pick him off.
They just try to do another stun on bottom, but they actually missed the stun, and they try to, you know, sort of do a counter initiation, but nothing really happens. It's sort of like the dance of the tri-lanes.
Who wants the tango? First person to slip up will be the first blood there. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the initiation or just damage output from the tri-lane at bottom for the Radiant side?
Once they hit level 3, it's going to be really high, but it's going to be really high for the other team as well, AzkaLs as well. But it's a little bit harder to get full damage on the Wisp. Like Wisp orbs at level 3 does an absurd amount of damage, but that's if you hit every single orb on the hero, and like there's 2 other heroes that could absorb the hits. So if the Wisp is really good with his balls and like can micro them to if he can handle balls well,
yep,
and smack him on one guy specifically, then he's going to do a lot of damage.
Oh,
but at the same time, like there's a lot of initiation power on the other tri-lane. This is going to be an interesting tri-lane to watch because there's a lot of damage. In the meantime, we do have Darkseer coming down with the haste rune, and it's going to try and get something happening, but the lane is pretty pushed, and I think the Bird's Nest tri-lane at the bottom knows about it, and they're not going to really venture too far out, which is definitely the right choice. They're investing 4 heroes down here.
For sure, that is quite a lot. I mean, Darkseer does have that haste. He had put an Ion Shell on himself. Now with the Shadow Demon in the forest, look, yeah, definitely looking to try to make something happen, but way too cautious there. Wards are, well, they don't really have too many wards up. They do have this sentry ward sitting over here, but it's about to go down very, very soon. Meanwhile, Darkseer is going to be going back to the middle lane now with Brewmaster taking some damage from that Ion Shell. Is going to have to back off.
Yeah, one of the reasons why ganking is a little bit risky for him is like if it doesn't work, like it just happened here, you're losing a lot of time and CS. So, like,
oh my goodness, down with Disruption going down. Stun's going to land, but down goes the Shadow Demon. Wisp almost going down as well. Down goes EO. Now it's just 2v2. Oh, but Leshrac with his Edict doing so much damage. No more slows are on to be able to put on the heroes. It looks like Tiny and Bane are going to be able to get away.
Yeah, you saw that the Wisp would just like bunched its balls up real close to himself, and he stood right next to the Shadow Demon, and the Shadow Demon took every single hit from the balls.
Every single ball.
Yeah, he took every single ball to the face. He got teabagged 4 times, and he just got lit up. He died so fast. That's the power of Wisp damage, but it's a little bit harder to hit. You know, as I was talking about sort of the soaking up ball damage.
For sure, and as you say that, Nayak's taking a couple balls to the face. He will try to regain his life by eating people, because that's how you gain health after you've been teabagged. Meanwhile, at middle lane, still pretty standard stuff going on here. Darkseer is going to be checking runing. We'll be able to see that double damage, and we'll bottle it right now. I'm not sure if he can make any use of it. We haven't looked at top for a bit, but
Prophet's getting wrecked.
Is he?
Yeah, he's Gyro's 3 times the CS as him.
Let's have a look at that. Oh my goodness, 30 last hit to 10. Good job on the map there. Nice, very good.
It's my Asian hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, going back to the ganking thing, like if you look at the levels between the Brewmaster and the Darkseer, it's 1 level difference. Although it's like small XP, but this 1 level is all because the Darkseer ran mid or ran bottom and lost like 2 creep waves worth of XP. That can be pretty big in certain matchups and situations.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the skills that you choose and how the skills scale, exactly.
And like it depends on the certain time as well, because certain heroes have like once they hit a certain level, they just like skyrocket in effectiveness. Like a Magnus, for example.
Oh yeah.
Between level 4 and level 5 is an absurd amount of damage you can do.
For sure.
So it's things like that. You got to really time when you go gank with your mid, and like obviously you try and time it with your runes. But if you're leaving and you don't have an effective kill,
yeah, it's just a waste of time, exactly. And you really need to be effective like that. So kids, the more you know, the more you know. Gotta make sure that you use those hero timings.
Yeah, mid is actually really even though, like XP wise and gold, or last hits wise, they're about even. And
yeah, mid and top for sure. Yeah, Brewmaster is doing a pretty good job here, just staying in lane, farming up. Darkseer, sure, you can go run around, but my team's gonna be careful. Nothing's gonna be happening, and I'm just gonna get more farm than you.
Yeah, well, actually, Tiny only has 15 CS right now, so this is not looking the greatest for Bird's Nest. Although they're not completely out of it right now, is if they can stabilize, they can certainly come back and give the Tiny some free farm here. But I really like the draft coming out of AzkaLs team.
Definitely. We see Celestia just looking around in the jungle over here. You know, Tiny's trying to get his hits off, and it looks like they want to do something. Oh my goodness, down here comes the Nature's Prophet. He did grab the invisibility rune. We'll be moving across here. It looks like he's gonna drop a ward, and it looks like Dire does see him. They do see him. He knows exactly. I'm not sure Nature's Prophet knows this yet. They've been playing this pretty well. Oh my gosh. Ward sees wards. There's a disruption going down. A stun on the last track. So much damage. Taken down instantly. Balls to the face, Nax, but he does get sleep. And he's not going to be taking more damage. They're getting around him, though. Turns on that rage. Here comes Garkov and call down. Pistol shot. Down goes Base. Oh my goodness. Turning this around. Tiny's going to be going down as well.
Yeah, that was some great TP reaction from AzkaLs, but it's not over yet. The Brewmaster comes in and pops his ult. It's going to start doing a lot of damage with that fire aspect here, and going to see the rest of them. This Shadow Demon should go down. No, never mind.
Also the face on that Darkseer taking so many, but oh my goodness, Chris almost went out. Tiny comes back out of nowhere. Here comes the stun, a toss. Whirlwind up for the gyro. Down goes Shadow Demon. Still here, using the rage, but a nice link up over there. Getting that extra speed for the Brewmaster. Stun going down from the last track. And where's Eo? Oh my goodness, he's hiding.
Oh, big TP!
Get out. Yes, he does. Man.
That was a great TP. This Wisp player is really good, dude.
Good stuff going on there. Tiny, oh my goodness, he might be in trouble. Does Lax have a snow? He does. He's going to be avoided. There comes Bane with the sleep. Stun from last track. Misses! Nice dodge there by the big bad bird.
Wow, he actually missed with what's it called? Open wounds? Yeah, open wounds on the Tiny.
Tiny juke. He just was like, I'm gonna go left, but no. Then I went right.
Yeah, but you still have open wounds on you. You're really slow. I don't know. I don't think you should have missed it. Anyways, can you see me drawing?
I can see you drawing.
Okay, so I'll quickly talk about what happened there. So when the Prophet came this way, the Shadow Demon disrupted the Bane, but he was indecisive. If he had disrupted him here, that fight would have gotten a lot different. But instead, he disrupted it here, and the Leshrac was forced to like go all the way over here to stun, and which is when he overextended, and then that whole fight began. If he had disrupted him here, the Lesh could have still stunned from over here, and then he would have been in a fantastic position because the creep wave is here. You can't really get into there unless.
Oh my goodness! Look at that, tossing the.
Oh wow! What a disruption!
Right now. Down goes. Okay, what is going on? So much drawing. You don't even know.
Oh, am I still drawing?
Yeah, you were still drawing. During that fight, you were just.
Oh, I think it was delayed, maybe. Oh, I drew it. I stopped drawing like as soon as the fight. I think it's a little bit delayed.
Probably, you're
But-
right, yeah.
Anyways, that was a fantastic disruption from the Shadow Demon. He still died, but he forced a kill on the Wisp, so he kind of made the trade even.
Exactly. We can see up at top though, Gyrocopter's just starving away. He is sitting at 70 last hits now, probably just skyrocketing in front of everyone else in terms of gold. We do have a little bit of a favor of the Radiant side, 1,000 there. In terms of XP, pretty much the same, but not too much difference right now. Kills 6-4.
Yeah, but if you look at the gold graphs, it's still in favor of AzkaLs just because of the way they laned it
Oh,
and
did
the
I say
CS
Radiant? I meant Dire. My bad.
I don't know what you said. Maybe I can't remember. Doesn't
I don't
matter.
listen to you when you talk.
I don't either. I was looking at other things. But I mean, it's not too bad considering they just need to get farm on this tiny. And like they're sort of putting all their eggs in one boat, or one basket rather than one boat.
It's like Vancouver, we put our eggs in boats. That's what we do.
It's actually 1.5, I guess. If the Prophet gets farmed, you can do a lot of damage. But it's not the same as having like both a Nyx and a Gyrocopter with farm.
Totally
you know.
different there. Oh, Bane's in a scary position right now. Good thing he didn't notice. He is going to be moving back around. Darkseer coming down from the mid lane as well. Once again, we do have 4 heroes in the bottom lane. Oh, Darkseer has the Envy. He's going in.
Wow, he has
vision.
Invis and Haste. Wow.
That's kind of crazy. Balls getting TP'd. Where's this Tiny going to be going? Looks like he's going top. Huge damage onto the head.
That's a great pickoff.
Man.
That is a fantastic pickoff.
He is coming back.
Realizing that they can't actually stay bottom, there's TP, get a kill on the Gyrocopter, which is the highest farm, and they're going to be back here to team fight the rest of them. And AzkaLs is in a terrible position behind the tower, and they're going to get so much done here.
Oh my goodness, down goes the leg track, down goes the, oh my god. Drops Darkseer, dead, also pops behind our Brewmaster here, down goes. Great play there, team wipe on AzkaLs. Bird's Nest pulling it out.
That was a great fight for Bird's Nest, and like not only did they sort of, so they're in a position where they were going to die because there's 5 heroes on bottom lane. They're converging on bottom lane on a tiny Wisp and a Bane. So what they do is they just go top, kill the Gyrocopter, and give themselves room. But what AzkaLs did is they realized this and figured they could kill the Bane under the tower, but they took way too long to do it, and they were stuck behind the tower while the rest of Bird Nest came and just like wiped them, and had fantastic positioning on that.
Yeah, that was some pretty sick play for Bird's Nest for sure. Very nicely done there. Gyro is going to probably be a lot more careful now wandering around the map, knowing that that tiny Wisp combo could come out of anywhere and really just take him down.
Yeah, definitely. And Tiny favoring to go drums this game. I definitely agree with that. As you know, his farm is a little bit not as optimal. It's not optimal, so you kind of can't be greedy in that situation. So getting drums definitely gives you a lot of stats, good health, and damage as well. So I mean, I think it's a very good pickup for getting yourself back into the game.
Looks like we do have another. Oh my gosh, Whips the stuns doing so much. It takes out 2. Leshrac, Edge out, even going down. Rage going on the life steal. But no, there's the trees. He's getting stunned by the tether. Getting tossed in the air. Down he goes. 3 kills right there. Gyro coming in with the call down. Something's getting a hit. They take a lot of damage there. But oh my goodness, 4 heroes against 1. Not get away. And down he goes as well.
You don't want to get balls in the face, man. Wisp balls are vicious. They do a lot of damage.
They're glowing balls. You know,
and the TP was really late from the Gyrocopter. If you had TP'd like a second earlier, that would have been a whole different team fight. But because all the other heroes were dead, they could easily move out of the sort of, what do you call it? Call down, I think?
The call down, yep.
Yeah, and then put themselves in a better position to basically just kill the Gyrocopter. So Bird's Nest is definitely playing really well against AzkaLs right now, despite having...
I mean, the Wisp balls toss is great. Gotta love it. Tosses him in, balls are kept close to him. Everyone takes so much damage. And they do AoE, so if you're bunched up together, then follow up with another stun. The burst damage was huge. Leshrac and Shout even went down so fast.
Yeah, Hyun is definitely a really strong Wisp. I mean, he has really good ball management. Man, it's like we're in grade 3 or something.
Yep, you know. I've been working with grade 3 all week, and yep, it's all about balls.
Yep. But yeah, his ball control is really strong.
Another TP again, once again, here we go. 10 seconds left, Tiny's trying to get a stun. There comes a stun, there goes the toss, balls in the face. Down goes the life stealer, and boom, they're going to be teleported back.
Yeah, he's actually going to leave the Tiny here so he can get farm in bottom lane, which is, I think, I definitely agree with. No, but he didn't actually TP that far.
They're like the best friends. You never let go of your buddy when you're walking.
Yeah, but like, look at AzkaLs now. They're playing really passive. Like, they're not even past the river.
Double damage.
They're scared.
Yeah, I mean, they realize the potency of just how, like, double TPs on a team is pretty absurd. Like, you can light somebody up instantly, and this Darkseer might die too. The balls, man.
Right.
The balls. See the balls?
So
balls are down. And he actually popped wall too, which I think is a little bit of a waste. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, Tiny. Oh, Tiny has the ice skin. It matches the color scheme of his buddy Wisp. They planned this out. Totally planned. We do have Gyrocopter against it. Nature's Prophet at the top here. Going to be taking some hits. Nature's Prophet goes around the jungle. Oh, and there comes the tree. Going to be trapped. I wonder if anyone's going to be TPing in. No call down going down. Going to hit the Bane. Nature's Prophet running right through it, actually. Taking a couple hits there. Apart from that, nothing really happening.
Dire's middle tower is
Tiny
under
and Wisp
attack.
are linked up together. The balls are out. Does he have a cooldown? Oh, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. We're going to see another TP. Looks like Tiny's actually going to be TPing back to base right now.
is he? No, he TP'd mid.
Oh,
He's gonna actually pull the supports with the Brewmaster, and oh man, that's a lot of damage. And both these supports are gonna die real fast. And this Tiny suddenly got really big, and he went Yasha first. Wow, that's really interesting.
got some attack speed going on there. I mean, when you're having a Tiny doing about 217 damage per hit with a Yasha, oh, his ulti ain't slowing him down.
Yeah, but generally people try and go for the Aghanim Scepter because it's like free splash damage with your tree, but I guess he figured he has so many kills he can quickly get the Yasha first.
Yeah, exactly.
And get even more kills to complement his CS.
Exactly, yeah. This guy's just gonna be pounding away. It's a jackhammer Tiny. He's pounding on your face with balls.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah,
is under
complemented
attack.
by balls.
This is great. This is great. Excellent match here.
Yeah, balls everywhere, man. But he's still really behind in CS. He's like, look at Tiny CS. It's 60 compared to the 103 of Gyrocopter.
For sure. But just in terms of kills, though.
I mean, 60 CS is what
10-1.
you should be getting
Dire's top tower has fallen.
like 9.5 minutes in if you have free farm, but it's 18 minutes in.
TP middle, here we go. Tiny with the stun on the shot. Don't even need to toss him down. He
Dire's
goes
middle
instantly.
tower is under
My
attack.
goodness. Tiny gets tossing and takes out the tower as
Dire's
well.
middle tower
And you know,
has
he doesn't
fallen.
need that CS. He's just going to get all his money from farming heroes.
Yeah, I mean, that works too. That's an option. And if you take a look at the net worth,
Yep.
it's like Tiny is double the net worth of the Darkseer, all from the kills. And although, like I was saying, Gyrocopter does have a lot more CS, he has 3 deaths, and that's going to cut back on your farm a lot. Both because you're losing gold and you don't have farming time.
Yeah.
And a major thing as a carry is you just can't die.
Dire's
Can't
top
die.
Even if you're
tower
not
is
getting
under
farm, if
attack.
you're not dying, it's not that bad. But if you're dying, it's really bad because you're also giving gold to the other team.
For sure. Blink there by the Master Class. Blink dagger is going to run away from that homing missile. It will hit him eventually, but there's no follow-ups going to be coming out there. There's a whole team of AzkaLs now at the top tower. We're defending it. Whole team of Radiant sitting at the mid.
Dire's
We do have a bottom
tower
push
is
going
under
out from
attack.
Ninja, doing his job, doing that split push over there. Ping's going down saying, wait guys, look at this guy. He's pushing our towers. TP's coming in. It is going to be the Darkseer. Let's try to stop that lane. But here comes Tiny and the Wiz linked up together. Toss in on the Bane. Instantly ulti. So much damage on last track. Down goes down. Here comes Nature's Prophet.
Ow.
Disruption going on. Gonna save it for a second, but no. Oh my goodness. Only the life stealer next. He is rage. Tiny's so fast right now. Can't even run away. There he goes. Gets slept by by the Bane. The wall gets dropped, and no one's gonna even be in the wall. And poor Darkseer gets taken down.
Yeah, this sort of 1-by-1 thing is not really working out for them. Although the disruption was kind of cute in saving the last track for a little bit, he actually ended up killing himself by doing so, by being so close, and he still died. And AzkaLs is going to GG out 25-6 for Bird's Nest. Although the laning phase was a little definitely on the side of AzkaLs, that one team fight bottom
Yep.
definitely, you know, skewed it in favor of Bird's Nest, and they just snowballed out of control with that.
Dire's bottom
For sure,
tower
yeah.
is
And
under
really,
attack.
Tiny totally did. Yeah, so it looks like, yep, the team has called the GG. The disconnects are coming, and that's it, guys. That's the game between Bird's Nest and AzkaLs. Bird's Nest will be moving on, but have a look at the brackets right now. Brackets. And I did look up Team AzkaLs. Apparently, they're a professional Filipino soccer team. But that's probably what they're based on.
Huh. So they're like a soccer team that like plays Dota in the
Probably.
pastime,
Who knows, man? Who knows? The next game for Bird's Nest, though, will be against. They will be going up against Farming all day, every day. Do you know about that team?
I don't. Magikarp I kind of recognize. Some Wacky SGs I kind of recognize. Imaginary Gaming I recognize as well. These are all teams we queue against in team matchmaking. Oh, I got a shout out.
Oh, thanks. Getting a shout out. Good stuff.
Yeah, man, my boys.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to mention about this lineup that would have, I think, played a big factor like later on into the game is because of the potency of Wisp Tiny that was happening, it forced the other team, AzkaLs, to clump up as 5, start 5-manning, because that's sort of one of the major ways you deal with Wisp Tiny. You can't pick somebody off if there's 5 heroes there, right?
Right.
But because they have a Nature's Prophet, they can abuse that by constantly split pushing. So they had a bunch of options to do late game. So that's like one of the beauties of the draft. And I think